Hi everyone, this is Catherine Roberts from YourArtImage.com, and I am talking to you from Los Angeles. I sent out a survey last Sunday, and I am so grateful to so many of you for replying and giving me your most burning, pressing questions regarding your art business. Thank you so much. Silly me, I didn't really plan when I sent out the survey very well. And I am in the first day, just finished the first day of a 4-day conference on marketing. And then I go straight into a 2-day boot camp in the coaching program that I'm in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit here in front of this camera and I'm going to answer your question unscripted, without edits. I'm just going to blurt it all out, put it up so that you can see it, and let you know that I heard you and I have some answers for you, and I'm really, really grateful that you took the time to reply. And please excuse any little blips or flub ups. We're just going to get down to business. So the biggest question that you had, the biggest burning issue that you have with your art business was marketing, that you gave me in your response to the survey. Was marketing, how do I get more artwork out and sell more art as a result, get it out in front of an audience, and how do I get in galleries, which is basically the same end result, isn't it? Basic bottom line is, how do I sell more art? Okay, well, I'm going to go back and answer the first question first. I guess actually I'm not. I'm going to answer the second part of it first, and that's about selling. And I just want to say, I really hope that you can get how important it is to understand that selling art is not like selling used cars. You know, artists sometimes say to me that they don't like talking about their work. They don't like, trying to push it on people. They don't like trying to get people to buy it. They don't like that part of being an artist, that interaction. And I think that you need to consider the way that you're looking at it. First of all, if somebody is interested in your art, if somebody sees your art and expresses an interest in it, you don't have to sell them anything. Your work is already spoken to them. Now, they may need a little bit more information or encouragement or have some specific questions, but really, all that selling and marketing is about connection and communicating with whomever it is that is connecting with you. So you're used to doing this visually. That's what appreciation and love of artwork is. It's connection. You have connected through your artwork to another person. And that connection has created a bond, an emotional response in them, something that triggers them, that makes them want to live with that artwork, that makes them feel a certain way. So all there is to selling is to help them explore that emotional experience. So it's as easy as saying, what is it that attracted you to that piece? Or what do you love about that piece? And let them tell you. They will sell your art to themselves because you're listening, for one, and you're having a conversation, and they've already connected on some level. So it's a matter of continuing and developing that relationship and that connection. You're sharing something with them that they already want. Okay, so that's my little spiel on selling. So let's talk about marketing. And marketing is the exact same thing. It's about building and developing a relationship with people. Now, the thing that makes it slightly different is that you start out marketing to the general public, I suppose, without them specifically necessarily being attracted to one particular painting. You know, people are going to come across your work, they're going to see your website, whatever it is, and it will strike them in a way that they like. You know, something about it will appeal to them. Okay, the question is, how then do you convert that person, that interested person, into a customer? So they're a contact at that point, okay? You have made contact with them. And the objective is then to change that person who is a contact into a consumer. Well, when you have a website or when you have an initial point of contact with somebody, you have absolutely no way to continue that communication, develop that relationship, if you don't have a way to reach out to them, to contact them again. Okay, this is why when you have a website, I go on and on and on about the importance of a newsletter and how important it is to capture the details of that individual. Okay, once you've done that, then you're in control, because it's not a matter of them having to think about you again or remember your name or remember your artwork or just be sitting at their computer and say, oh gee, you know, I think I feel like seeing what new art that artist has available or what they've done lately. That doesn't happen very often. I focus, and my whole work is around art, and I still don't very often go to those artists' website whose work I love and see what's new. But those same people that I follow and have an interest in can send me information about what is new or other things that they're doing that would be of interest to me just because I like that person's art. So it becomes interesting to me. I have an interest in what they're doing and how their work is evolving or what they might be focusing on. Okay, so the way to do that is to create a reason for them to give you their email address. So in other words, you're building your list, you're building your database. And the great thing about this is not only as you develop this and start to do it, are you going to sell more work directly, but you're building a list that will become more attractive and will give you more credibility when you go to approach a gallery later down the road. Because the questions that a gallery owner is going to ask you is, how much artwork have you sold? And how big is your mailing list? How active, how engaged is your mailing list? So are they contacts or are they customers on your mailing list? Right. So that's an objective. If you really want to be just represented by galleries in the future, that's the path, the road that you need to take to get there. This is part of the foundation that you need in order to then build the business in which you can live comfortably. Now, here's the bad news, if you want to look at it that way. You know, we all want to get into this big, comfortable house that we've decorated just the way, we've designed it, we've built it, we've decorated it just the way we want to, and we're just happy to move into it and relax in it. But life doesn't work that way. Even the most ideal situation, the most perfect house, everything that you dreamed of in this wonderful environment needs to be maintained. And your business is exactly the same. So you're going to lay a foundation. You're going to take the time to build a foundation, build your database, build the relationships with the people on that list, give them something of value, interest to them. And when I say a newsletter, I don't mean, sending out announcements about your next event. Or just, I'm going to have an open studio, and then I'm going to be in this exhibition, I'm going to be in that. Give them something juicy. Give them something really relevant to their interest and what you do. So, for example, I just featured, Jill Tattersall's artwork in one of my Artist Action Points, okay? And I don't think I put this picture in, but I noticed that she had done sort of an illustrative type mixed media piece that featured an aubergine, eggplant. Right? So let's say that she's doing a whole series of botanicals, whether they're vegetables, whether they're flora, whatever. And let's say you're going to do a new fruit or a new vegetable each month. So in your monthly newsletter, don't just give them information about your latest paintings or your technique. Feature the topic, the theme of what you're working on. So you might include a recipe about aubergine. You might bring that into your newsletter when it's in season. You might bring it into your newsletter when it would be planting time for that particular vegetable or fruit. Find a way to make it interesting and relevant. Sometimes you may want to give information or tips on care of artwork. If you work in acrylics, if you work in egg tempera, whatever the case may be, give people some information on how to care for that kind of artwork. Explain to them why they might want to keep their art out of the sun or provide glazing that is UV protective. Give them information about something that they're interested in, artwork, and particular your topic. Now here's the other great thing about that. Let's say you go a step further and decide to print out your newsletter. Let's say you've sent it out by email, but you also print a copy of it. Let's say that you're a pet portrait artist, that you feature animals. Okay, how can you make that more interesting and relevant to your target audience? A pet owner, somebody that might want a portrait of their pet. Well, where do you find pets? Put a feature in there every month, the tip of healthcare tip for pet owners. Get a vet, a local vet, to give you an article on dog dentistry, or healthy food tips for your dog, or why exercise is important for your dog. Invite somebody else who is has the same target audience as you, but is not necessarily in competition with you. You wouldn't want to invite 3 different pet artists necessarily to be included in your newsletter. But include this other information, these tips from a dentist, from a dog dentist, or a veterinarian, or a dog trainer, and include a little tidbit, a little bit each time in your newsletter from them. And here's the great thing. When you've got that newsletter printed out, give it to them to send to their clients. Okay, so now you're helping each other. You're networking and sharing information. I'm sure that most veterinarians have people on their list that would love to have a portrait of their pet, and you're the artist. Okay, so it works on the law of reciprocity. You're asking them. You're offering them an opportunity to share their information, obviously, whatever tip or whatever thing that they think is of value to your potential clients, to your client list. Likewise, they are then sharing your information with their clients. So there's all kinds of ways to make your newsletter interesting and relevant to your target audience. Okay, it doesn't have to just be a sales pitch. It shouldn't be a sales pitch. In fact, in that case, it completely loses its value, which is to build a relationship with your clients. Another artist, Tina Mimosa, I know you've heard me talk about her before. She has been known as the coastal artist for years, but she also has an interest in geology. She has an interest in astrology, in the heavens. And she talks about these different things from her perspective as an artist, but also as a scientist. And that makes it interesting to people. So I might have somebody that isn't necessarily a big art fan, but they have an interest in the stars. They have an interest in rocks, for goodness sake. I can send her newsletter to them. I can share something that would be of interest to them and indirectly be promoting her art, or indirectly be promoting, whatever it is that she is offering people. And the thing is that this is an opportunity to create a relationship without overtly selling people your artwork. Okay, they're thinking about you, you're in front of them, and when the time does come that they're ready to buy art, because it's not a necessity, it's not like you run out of milk and you need to go buy art, it's a luxury. But when somebody is then ready, of course, they are going to go to the person with whom they have a relationship and whose product, whose artwork they like. And that's how those magic sales happen. Okay, so your objective is to build the relationship and create the connection between yourself and your target audience. Now, another great way to market to these people, and I wouldn't have said this 3 years ago even, and that is by using online galleries. And here's why I'm saying that now and haven't in the past. Recently, two online galleries in particular, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about each of them, have really done some incredible things in turning their platforms around in marketing to the public. The first one that I want to talk about is Artfinder. And the thing that is so special about what they are doing is, first of all, in order to use their platform, in order to be a consumer, in order to browse the art on their platform, they require you to register. It's free, it's easy, it's a name and email address, but what happens is they know that anybody that has bothered to register is seriously looking at art. You know, they may not buy that day, although they have all kinds of tricks and ways to get you to encourage you to do that. And one of them is, I think, in the first hour that you register, you get a 10% discount. And here's the incredible thing. That discount doesn't come from the artist's share. It comes from the commission that Artfinder charges you as an artist. Anyway, so you can upload your work to Artfinder. They have a terrific profile page for the artist. You can include videos, you can include a blog, I think it is, I'm pretty sure a blog. You can include all sorts of information in your profile. You can create groups of your artwork, themes, series. You can include work that is sold, which gives you incredible social proof, you know, as to the demand for your work. So you can sell something somewhere else and still put sold work up there as part of your gallery, just as you would on your website. You would have some sold work along with your work that's available. You can link back to your website, which is great for SEO if you've included it in the text and you have credible sites that are then linking back to your website. It raises your search engine optimization for your personal website. You can include your email so people can contact you directly. You know, you're entering into a relationship and a contract with Artfinder. So you're not doing this, in other words, to direct traffic back so that you can sell directly and cut the gallery out. That's not what this is about. And if you go into it with that sort of an attitude in any gallery situation, brick and mortar, online, whatever, that's definitely the wrong approach. But they are doing remarketing and they are doing pay-per-click marketing to consumers that is out of this world spectacular. And they're doing it with a budget that most of us would find individually very, very hard to match. So take advantage of this. You know, they have great, I remember a few weekends ago, they had this great sale where they paid shipping worldwide for anything that's sold. If something goes out to a client and they're not happy with it, of course, everybody has the right to return it. That's an EU policy now. So you can't get away from that. But they pay the shipping back for the consumer, for the artist and the consumer. So there's no out-of-pocket expense on your behalf. It's just really, really a fantastic platform. Now, who's their target audience? That's your first question. You know, are they a good fit for me? They are hitting the affordable art, what I would say is the affordable art fair market. Okay, so they are entry-level collectors. They are people that are just transitioning from wall decor, something that you might buy at IKEA. You know, I mean, when I was growing up as a teenager, it was poster art, you know, that young people were living with in their rooms. So their target audience is the new to mid, you know, mid-range collector. So anywhere from even 75 pounds, I think I've seen some prints, on up to 7,500. I know that they've sold work up to 15,000 pounds, but I would say that their average is 750 to 2,500 pounds probably for artwork, which if you are just getting work out there, or if you have, you know, prints that are at the lower end of the spectrum, there's nothing wrong with that. Take advantage of this platform, and then those people that want more of your work or whose collection matures and they develop their taste or their financial ability to purchase increases, then they can move up because they will continue to follow you and you will continue to build that relationship with them, and they will continue to spend more and more on higher end artwork that you come to produce or that you offer. The other online platform that I want to talk about is RiseArt, and they have a different approach. Now any artist can list their work, upload their work. I find their profile page a bit more difficult to maintain. You can't be as interactive. In the past, so once you've uploaded your work, it then goes to two options. One is you can be referred by one of the insiders, and these are curators. I happen to be one of these. You can be referred for review. Okay, in which case your artwork is then reviewed by two members of the insider team, and you can then, if approved, sell your work on the platform. Anybody can put up a profile page and you can send them back to your website. But in order to use the site for sales and post your prices with RiseArt, you need to go through this curatorial process. The other way that you get in front of the review board is if there is a lot of action, a lot of either comments or people following you from the public perspective on RiseArt. Different platforms, different pros and cons, different types of agreements. You have to read those details and decide which one is for you. Now, they tend to, because it's curated artwork and because it's more selective, or at least has the perception of being more selective, usually the artwork is priced a little higher. The artists have more experience in sales. They're usually further along in building their art business, and they sell work easily up to £15,000 per piece. And they work very hard on developing the relationship with the collectors and specifically recommending to the collector which artists they may also like and who to follow from an investment collecting point of view. Okay, so there I would describe them as more as the upper entry level to mid-range type of gallery. The other thing, I want to go back for a second to Artfinder, that I really, really love about their platform. It has to do with their remarketing. So for example, if when I log into Artfinder, I have the opportunity to follow people, similar to your Facebook page or anything else. The difference is, through their marketing platform, is if you are an artist that I am following as a registered user of Artfinder, and you upload something new, or you put something on sale, or you make a significant change in your profile page, I get an email. They are contacting me on your behalf to let me know. In other words, they're building the relationship for you. This is incredible. You know, this is part of that maintenance that you would otherwise be doing yourself through your email platform to your list. Now, I'm not saying that you should do just that and not the other. You really want to rock, you really want to be a rock star, you do both. You know, so you're doing your direct marketing, you're also using these platforms that are marketing for you. But the point is, you can do this, and you do have these opportunities and these platforms out there to take advantage of. So yes, you can get your artwork in front of more people. To answer your question, yes, you can develop your marketing. Just get on board with Artfinder and watch what they do, and you will have a great model to follow. So, and it's a numbers game. You know, if you have your artwork in front of 100 people and 1% are interested, or 10% are interested and 1% buy, okay, great, those are your numbers. Well, guess what? If you get your artwork in front of 100,000 people and 10% are interested and 1% buy, when do you have more sales? Obviously the latter. So take advantage of as many possible ways as you can. Now obviously you need to check with the galleries you already have a relationship with. If you're already involved in other online galleries, you need to make sure that the terms and agreements don't conflict, and that you are honoring these relationships, because these are partnerships. These are business partnerships, and you need to be ethical and upfront in how you're operating, because believe me, the art world is incredibly small, and you will regret if you do not guard those relationships and development and protect them well. Okay, that's it for today. I'm going to wrap up with that, answering your questions about marketing and how to sell more of your artwork. And thank you again so much for your responses. I hope that you have found this really useful and really valuable, and that you continue to thrive in your art business and in your creative pursuits. This is Catherine Roberts, YourArtImage.com, and I'll be back again to address some of the other questions that you answered in the survey, but I just wanted to get this to you while I had a break and while I could, and I hope that you find it useful. Thank you. Bye now.